There we go. Hello, anyone who's there, and to the people who aren't there, not hello. You don't deserve it. Welcome to the Tales of Revedia, where we break Dungeons and Dragons. Which, if you're not familiar, is the part where I make sure that my mic is working. Okay, cool. It is. Hey, when do you guys say something real quick?
Hello.
Alright, cool. Good enough. I do have ambient fan noise in the background, which does suck. Um, but there's not much I can do without that, otherwise I would die of heat stroke. But yeah, this is where we play a video game. It's not a video game, it's a normal game. Oh, I fixed it. I'm a genius. Um, we have here some of our players. One absent because of the intervening of fate in a malicious manner. Two, I think he's tired. I don't know. He's not here. But we have the rest of the pals. The Woods folk and Dragon.
Oh.
Yeah. Yeah, so this is the taller half of the party. Yeah. Between the elf, the not a satyr, deer guy, and
This
yeah,
Goliath over here.
but yeah, I guess kicking things off, or actually to briefly recap, over the course of the last session or two, our party has spent an amount of time looking into a sort of quest given onto them, a way in to bring back their friend, which has been taken from them, from their patron. Them not fully understanding that she was a warlock whose soul was bound to another creature, really. Um, I found a lot of this coming on by surprise, and has thus led to the revelation of a lot of things that would probably have been not said if not by a third party. Um, but you did find that in order to not only defeat her patron, but to more importantly free her from the contract which binds her from the said patron, you would need a device known as the Fate Breaker. However, the big problem with this device is that there's this magical object that it's not here. And by here, that means the material plane. It is in a space known as Limbo, the outer plane of the embodiment of chaos itself. And as the party is gone forth researching the trials and tribulations they might face, they've also run into another big obstacle, is traversing it in the first place. It is a place where things float, things move, things fly. And while they do have an airship of sorts, and the interplanar part is something that can be figured out, they need somebody to fly it because absolutely none of them are qualified to use any type of vehicle, I believe. And in this search,
I've heard of boats.
you've been on them. You've been on boats. So that statement is only concerning, really. But you guys have found yourselves at the Revedia Skydocks, where there are many sort of pilots of great renown and absolutely none, making their way about. Things with this rather tense air as supplies being sort of ushered and ferried out to these various places across the lands. Due to this recent wartime effort that has begun to pick up after the conflict with Crimson Keep. That's a cat. But you all stumbled upon a man who may just have a qualification in which it could be useful in your endeavor. Because the biggest part about finding a pilot to fly into Limbo is that nobody who knows what it is would do it. At least not if they were a sensible person. But as you see this older man, Nathan Windmarrow, as he was called, him amongst a crew, seemingly of his men, if not the captain, they at least look at him to lead. As he has just finished a rough conversation, maybe a little aggressive on his part, about receiving pay from a customer about some goods that they had transported and that were allegedly damaged, but that couldn't have anything to do with him, as he supposes. And I believe that was the site you guys stumbled upon too, and Jagun, you had approached him. I believe you guys had started a conversation.
That sounds
I
right.
feel like I'm not sure. I feel like me and
I think I thought it was you and Sparks.
and Sparks stopped me because he was like, "I don't trust this guy."
Well, fucking
Yeah, Sparks not here.
like Thanos snapped out of existence, and now you just forget what was going on. Now there's nothing to hold you back. Act of your own accord.
Yeah, so I will approach him and be like, "Oh, hello, sir. How you doing?"
What? He turns his head. He like looks straight forward and realizes that he needs to look higher up because he's probably about like maybe like 5'9", 5'8". And as he like
He's
looks
a human
up,
pilot?
human, yes. As he sort of looks up to meet your gaze. Yeah.
So I was over hearing you, and I heard you had some experience piloting an airship.
Yeah, I have experience piloting these airships. I remember. I remember when we made the first airship. I was there. I was a boy. I was a young boy, and I saw the airship, and I was like, I'm going to fly an airship like that one day. And I do now, but it took a long time. See, you don't get to just fly an airship because you have a dream to fly an airship. You have to have the grit. 17? What? Oh, 27.
Yeah, he seems very drunk. Is he drunk?
He is not drunk. He is totally sober.
Okay, just making sure. Well,
I think he
we're
just
still.
wants to tell you about a boy, Jogan. About a boy with a dream.
Well, me and my companions are going on a very perilous trip. We can use some assistance by a pilot because none of us know how to operate an airship. We just recently got one.
Well, if you dream stronger, you might have, but it doesn't take just to dream. Where is it all you plan on going?
It takes a boy.
We do charters, and such as the like.
Well, about that, I think you probably want to be my associates before we get into nitty gritty. But I need someone who's willing to go take massive risks.
And he looks back. Yeah, that's you. We're in the sky. You can't park really anywhere. If something goes wrong, you just crash. So it's inherently really risky whenever we go. Yeah, that's implied.
Oh,
But on the upside,
Huh?
the only risk is to life and limb. There's nothing for your pocket. There's nothing to do but gain. Because it's our ship that we'll be wagering on this dangerous voyage.
How did you? It's Ravine. He just like waves the thought away. You okay? You have a ship of your own, and you can't fly yet.
No, we're very well-to-do.
No, and you see, is like he lights up.
We got a ship as a gift.
A present. Oh man, you must have some great friends. That doesn't happen. Okay, well I'm interested. You keep leaving out the important piece of information though. Where?
well, I think we should do this over like a light meal. You want some coffee or something, or tea?
Ah, yes, but you're paying for it.
Yeah.
We can do that.
All right, boys, everyone, come on.
It's
the crew of people that are just kind of staying here and say, "Oh, okay, it's lunch is on them today."
Okay, I can afford lunch. I checked my sheet. I can still afford lunch.
I can also afford lunch.
Jogan makes the large purchases, but I can afford lunch. So, flash cut. We're at a
Yeah.
cafe somewhere. Set down the mugs of Definitely non-alcoholic tea.
Before,
Jogun, did you want to tell him?
before we start that, what's the name of this place?
The Hobgoblin's Haven.
Nice, Hobgoblin's Haven. Fantastic.
Well, really weird crowd here. There's
Where we're
hobgoblins in
going
here.
to, it isn't necessarily in Revedia. It's
Naturally. What? What does that mean? You can like fly to a party game? Like I don't know how. It's not safe to fly these ships super low to the ground.
So
What if the ground was in multiple places?
Ah, like the moon.
Yeah, like sort of like mountains, you know? Like you gotta be wary. You can't keep flying at the same elevation if the ground is rising, right?
And then as you guys are sort of going through this very interesting explanation.
So it's like that, but Jugun.
One of the people sitting around would speak up. Sort of like very short, like hair, where you can see the curls, like this darkish, like brown skin. Goes, Mr. Mr. Windmill, I believe they're talking about. I believe you called it the Chaos Space. You made a difficult name for it, or you called it the Everything Everywhere, something like that. Goes, what the? Oh. And what business do you have there?
So our friend is trapped in another realm, which, as far as we know, we don't need assistance with that yet. But it's very hazardous to travel in Limbo without an airship.
Yeah, it certainly is. It certainly is.
It's the business of the Bronze Flame. Heroic things and so on.
So our badge, or my badge at least.
Chivalry. As he like puts a hand up. Righteousness, whatever.
Well, in this instance, it is. We're rescuing an ally of ours.
Oh, I think that detail has no effect on the amount of money that will be exchanged between us. I'll ask later when we're on the ship. It'll be like a bonding moment or something, maybe. I don't know. Okay. So, but if that's the case, that does throw in a wrinkle. At least. That I can't really charge you a solid rate because I don't have an exact destination, given that's kind of how the place inherently works. Is there a vague area you're looking for, or maybe something that... Otherwise, I'm assuming it's going to be some time just traveling until you find what you need. And in that case, that'd be a little more... how do I say? It'd be a significant more danger to the crew and everyone else if we have no solid grasp on where it needs to be gone.
So out of character, I'm pretty sure when we left the dragon's like lair, he did give us like a tool to actually that shows us where to go, right?
Maybe something. Was it similar? Something similar, like a log pose or something like that? I think that would.
I believe he gave it to give us that.
Yeah, to help find the object. Yes.
Yeah. So
He gave us a what?
It's essentially like almost view it as almost like a finding spell to help at least find the area that the object is in.
One Piece jargon.
It's like a compass.
Yeah, it's the Pirates of the Caribbean compass.
And is it an object?
It is an object.
Or
yes.
like a wand or okay.
So I would say to him, well, I can't really tell you the distance wise, but we're given a tool to locate what we need to find. So as long as we follow that tool, we will get where we need to go, and then we can leave.
Okay. So we'll probably just have to charge you like a daily rate or something, but time doesn't pass normally there, at least in the traditional sense. so I'd have to. Ah. And he just turns to the guys, just like, Galen, do we still have the hourglass, the what's it called, the independent hourglass? Do we still have that? We got it fixed recently, so yes, okay. So I don't have to worry about keeping track of the days, because we'd be charging you for days that would happen here, not there, because that's more relevant. Which could be beneficial to you if we happen to pass by a pocket where things are slower there. Yeah, this was sad. We're interested. Uh, I speak for my crew when I say that it's not something we're unfamiliar with, bouncing from the other planes and other things like that. We know a few spots, and it's not one that I frequent, but it's one that I've been, which is probably more than you're going to be able to find from most people in this city.
Do the crew, or at least like whatever leads of crew have come to tea with us, do the crew seem on board with Nathan's direction in this conversation? Like especially when he mentions having been to other planes. Do I get any sus vibes?
Make me an insight check.
Thanks.
And I'll help.
I'll do just that. 20.
20.
That's about as good as I can roll.
Yeah, that's. So as you sort of hearing his words, sort of looking behind him, he brought the crew that was there. It's it'd be like about 15 men in all, including himself, to man one of these ships. Which you would know is also it's almost like kind of light for a crew that size. But I would say two things. You notice that they all are more armed than typical sailor, because it's not like you're facing pirates or anyone who's going to board your ship really in the sky. They do have that sort of I wouldn't say maybe confidence is the word to them. They don't seem like inept. You don't see one that strikes you out as being particularly problematic. And the last thing I want to mention, they seem to definitely come from a very wide variety of backgrounds and races. You see several Ganassi of different types within there. You see now that you're actually sort of taking a second to assess them, you see one guy who is just he's a person, but he's also a hippopotamus, which is probably actually your first experience with a hippopotamus. So that's funny to think about.
I can't say much. Glass houses.
Yeah. But definitely did. I would say that it wouldn't seem out of the question that these are people that are from other places, but you also know that Revedia itself is very diverse. But there are there are people among them which you have not seen before. I would say you don't see any Githzerai or Githyanki among them, though.
If with that inside check, if just on a vibes check, right? On feeling, hunch, right?
Mm-hmm.
Would my feeling be more that these people aren't sky pirates, or more that they are sky pirates? Where does that needle point? Just even if it's only a little bit in that direction.
I would say pirate is not the word I would use to describe them. They seem to definitely be well traveled. In a sense, I would say they definitely seem to have more of an adventurous spirit, or a free part of that piracy part, than they would the actual stealing and stereotypically attached pirate things.
Mm-hmm. Everyone's got all their limbs,
No.
So that you're saying there's a chance.
I'm just saying, a lot of things happen. Yeah, doesn't mean they lost it here, but people live long lives, but sometimes not all their parts make it.
How many of them are there?
There'd be 15 in total, counting Nathan.
Okay. And he appears to be the strongest.
Um,
Guy appears to be the strongest,
wait, say it again.
or the hippo guy. He seems to be the strongest.
Like physically, probably, yeah. But they definitely seems to be the leader. However, looking at him, like he doesn't have like that. Oh, he's a wizard or he's a sorcerer or like he's a barbarian vibe. He's not quite sure what he is. You're assuming he has some sort of martial skill because he's an old man in what is a game that or in an environment that does not favor people of his age, based on what he's told you. So assuming there's something there, but it's not. You don't get like a feeling like us. You don't like spot like, oh, he's this. He goes, okay, well, interplanar rates, yada yada yada. I'd say over the course of, we'll do a flat rate plus days traveled. It seems the most manageable way to go about things. He sort of looks back at his crew. Be about, we'll say 800 gold flat. Plus, because what's you see is he sort of like whispers something over to the younger guy for a second. Then he nods. Yeah. And then for each extra day traveled, it would be, or for each day traveled, it would be 100 gold pieces.
Okay.
It notably pricier than any standard airship work that we would do, but this is something in which significant danger is involved. I've already given consideration to the fact that we're not using our own ship.
Well, there is also the matter that we're, frankly, undefeated champions of the Bronze Flame, and very mighty, heroic people. So we are taking care of security concerns. So if you could take that out of the rate, I would appreciate it.
You all sleep? You all plan to be on the ship at all times? Or do you have another thing in which you are venturing forth, another goal in mind that is not the safety of everyone on the ship like mine?
We will not be able to traverse Limbo without the aid of the ship, so we're going to be staying close by the entire journey.
See, that's the big difference that you just stated. Close by and there are not the same thing. I will be finicky with that. My men are all capable of handling themselves against many a dangerous foe, but I would not like to lend reliance on an unknown factor, because frankly, most people are undefeated until they're dead. At least in your type of lifestyle. So the words don't ring incredibly sound to me. But that gumption that you have, that's admirable.
Well, I tried, Jurgen.
I don't think that's that much. Like, can we? I would like to talk about some more. Talk about this with more associates. Can we get back to you guys and when we're not leaving?
When you want to.
In an amorphous amount of time.
Is there anything else we need to do before we can head out, or should we rush to do it?
Not really. I mean, hey Elijah, you got Limbo ready to go? You gotta.
I've got enough.
Got that set up. I mean, we did all prep last session, so I don't know what more we need to. Because we've been told that there's nothing, there's no like anti-slad vests of warding or anything. It's just like, did we discover what was the thing about how to like reverse or how to cure Slad transformation before it happens? Oh, you said it's like a restoration spell? Greater
Greater,
restoration?
specifically.
I guess we can get materials for that, because we'll have to have you cast that if that should come to pass. Shogun.
Okay.
Yeah, that's diamond dust, which you guys I think should have plenty of, but feel free to purchase more. Each casting of Greater Restoration requires 100 gold pieces worth of diamond dust, just so
Oh, that's not
it's more.
that bad.
No, not at all.
Diamond dust.
Yeah, you can use actual diamond. It does not matter to me.
I get diamond grader. It's a green grading my diamonds.
Just fucking smashing your diamonds into each other.
Hey gang, we got enough diamonds?
Oh, wow, that's a really good question. Here's a question. Give us 3 days, and then we meet us at this address, and then we'll prepare to go.
All right, sounds good enough. Um. So, as you all, we're just assuming you're just kind of gonna return back to the house.
I'd like to go buy a diamond dust, a 100 gold diamond dust, if you don't mind.
Cool. Yeah.
I'll just throw that somewhere in a vial or something.
Yeah. Where is it? Well,
Realize I don't have the number of gems I have listed. I know we all have one of the 100 level ones. I'm pretty sure I have like 3 of the 300 GP diamonds, but I'm not sure if I have more of the 100 GP ones.
I do not know.
Yeah.
Uh,
So you're out of Revivify diamonds, you said?
Yeah, I know we all have one Riverfly diamonds, and then I'm pretty sure I have at least 1 or 2 of them myself, and then 3 of the
500 gold piece ones.
yes.
Okay.
I don't have any Revivify stuff on my character sheet.
I
So
don't.
that's all I can say.
Thought I did, but I don't see it.
I'll put it on there just in case. That sounds plausible enough. Um. Uh. Cool. And there we go. Little diamond. I'll throw that in there too. Not little, but cool. So, as I say, you guys are returning back to the abode, I believe.
Yeah.
So, as you guys make your way back, Dazan is still hard at work trying to figure out. Well, no, he would have left actually. I forgot. He's over the Seven Towers, the Conjuration Headmaster, trying to figure out some sort of enchantment or like spell that could be used in the ship in order to put it into another space. As you guys look back, Kayla's, you're hit with a realization. You realize that since you've been to the house pretty much like all day, you haven't seen Sid.
Yeah, I was just thinking about that, because he was notionally with us, present in the Temple of Mystra in the Emerald Lane
Yeah, you remember he had come back to Revedia with you. Or Reveed, I'm sorry. Obviously Revedia. But like since that morning, you guys, he's been not here.
I'm gonna go search the house, and especially the tangled backyard for him.
So, as you find yourself roaming about, looking for any signs, of Sid, nothing ringing true in the upstairs where one of the rooms are. But as you are getting ready, or like as you're about to head into the backyard, you hear something like push open the door. Like, God, come on, yes, come on, work with me here. And the door just like pushes itself open, and you do see Sid as he's sort of there hanging out. And it seems that at some point in the last time you had checked on him, you don't know where it came from. He is riding a dog. Just I got something.
I mean, do you mean this boy here?
Yeah. Name is Goomba. And it's like this like bulldog.
That's like, that name's really on the line. That makes me like that dog a lot less, and I really like animals.
What's wrong with that? I made it. It's a good name.
It's very, how do I say, ethnic?
What?
I think it's an objectively ethnic name. Anyway,
He's like looking down at the dog, trying to figure out like what.
You wouldn't get it. What's going on? You been just how you been?
Well,
Sid?
I was kind of wanting to get out a little bit. I haven't seen things, and there's too many people in the city. They should do something about that. It's terrible. It's not good. I saw a dog, and I was like, don't have a dog.
I pinched Sid. I pinched like his stuffing.
What was that? Ow! Is he just like pats it?
Do you feel pain?
Yeah, in a weird sense, which I don't know how to explain quite well, but yeah.
Oh, that is weird. So then we shouldn't like rip open your arms and give you lobster claws then.
Yeah, no. What the? Huh?
It's just like I feel like I see you riding Goomba, and you seem like you're having a hard time holding on because you don't have fingers. You just sort of have these nubs on the end of your arms.
My thighs are very strong.
That's good to know about Teddy Bear. Yeah.
And
so yeah, no lobster claws, no pitchfork fingers, so you could like sort of like climb.
Listen, Kalis, I fully don't even understand how I hold things. You realize you've seen me use a weapon. I don't know how I held it. I didn't think about that type of thing. I could use a bow. You know that? I have no fingers. I have no fingers. Some things we just chalk up to magic, and we say it's okay.
Like as he says, I have no fingers. I'm just gonna grab his hands and I'm just gonna sort of wiggle his arms. I'm gonna say, you don't have any bones either.
Is he like laughing? Hey, stop that! It's like just trying to stop himself from like laughing. It's like no, I don't have bones.
What about in here? Do you have?
How many bones do you have?
Do you have a lot? Do you have a heart in here? And I'll just sort of like start palpitating his chest until I start tickling him, and squishing his chest and see if I could feel a heart-shaped organ.
So as you like go for him, you watch as like he gets it, he starts sort of like cackling. It's like Goomba, stop him! Goomba, get him! And you know the dog is kind of just like, you don't need an insight check. This is not a very smart dog. He's kind of just like there. He's like, and he just like sits down, like sits like on his like leg. And he's like, oh, and he's like pinned. It's like, this isn't funny. I was a warrior. You know that.
But did you have the heart of one?
I don't know.
Did you
how
have
it
the heart of a
it's
warrior?
Fey magic.
Does he have the heart of a warrior?
You do feel something solid, like as you're sort of like poking around, like not necessarily like where a heart would be, but like a general chest area.
Oh. I stand corrected. You have the heart of a warrior. And I'll release him.
And as you guys do so, sort of standing in front of like the open front door, Dazan is just standing at the end of like the walkway. He's like, "Am I interrupting something?"
Oh, no Dazan, not at all.
Yes, I saw your friend here this morning walk out the house. I didn't make too much of it. I just thought it was strange. I didn't know that we hadn't introduced ourselves really. Okay. Well, anyways, I'm going to walk inside now. As he sort of like walks down like the walkway, sort of awkwardly waiting to finish speaking before he doesn't have to be loud.
Say, Sid, we're going on a dangerous voyage into another realm.
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
coming?
Yeah.
High five.
Because you watch as he like uses like Goomba as like a little like platform to jump up to it.
He Yoshi jumps into the high five. Heck yeah. Yeah. What's everyone else doing?
But yeah. Would you guys have anything? That's a good question. Would you two in particular have anything you want to do as you guys get home in the sort of days that you have set out for this boogie time?
I want to clean the bones that I have, like the steel bones.
Ooh.
Just freshen them up. Like they probably got kind of dirty and scuffed. A lot of them were lying in like the mud of the forest.
Gotcha.
Yeah, so I'm probably gonna spend some time doing that. Nice and shiny.
Okay. So, as you do some bone cleanup duty, in the meantime, Zelfar, do you have a particular thing you want to work on? You don't have to have an answer. I just wanted to check.
Not particularly.
Okay.
Yeah.
So Zelthar is over by the archery range. Not even shooting arrows, just doing like that sort of like mental like imagery training type shit. Seeing himself hit the target before he like even fires his bow.
Mm-hmm.
But Dazan, I was actually wanting to talk to everyone about the teleportation ship thing. For getting it to Limbo. I spoke with the headmasters, and I believe we might actually have a pretty viable solution. I'm sorry, before I even goes. You watch as he sort of like does like a little like hand motion, and a message will pop up in both Juggins and Self. Could you guys meet me in the main living room, please? I'd like to talk about. See, I talked to the headmaster of the school, and it stops.
Yeah, I'll go meet him in the like hearth in the like sort of armchair fireplace room of
Yeah.
the house.
Like,
You know, the fireplace room. Like the ones you have.
Yeah. As you guys all sort of gather up, who's on the. Well, so good news. It's actually going to be more manageable than I thought. I was originally under the impression that we need to cast like a gate spell or something. which is it's a huge process, and also brings a danger of things we don't intend to being able to come through both ways. Um, but there is an enchantment that can be put on the ship, which would basically make the ship a spell casting focus of sorts. So that when someone like Jugun was to plane shift, it'd be able to include the ship as part of that whole process and the things on it, as well as the inhabitants. So it would really only be about a day's work worth of enchanting sigils and or marking sigils and runes across the decks of it, but it's fairly manageable actually.
Will it truly ensorcel the ship with the teleportation, regardless of its size?
I wouldn't say regardless of its size. I think with the size of the ship that we are working with, it would work. But if you were to have a much larger vessel, it would be likely that the enchantment on it would have to be much more complex and would take probably a significant amount of time. And the important part of this is this isn't something that would be permanent on the ship. Similar to like when Spartacus would make a teleportation circle, the runes would fade after the uses. So we'd be able to get the ship there and back, but it wouldn't be like a permanently on the ship. In order to make it a thing which could happen all the time, that would require much more time. Usually things like that, you have to be inscribing it continuously. Like for a teleportation circle, you have to do it every day for a year. And it may be something of that similar nature for the ship.
Maybe you need to make a few more simulacrum of yourself, Dasan.
I don't even want to think about how that would work.
It's a joke. It's a joke only.
Yes, it's a good joke. I was just thinking about the ethics of it. Really, it's really interesting because I was a part of another made whole. Thanks. So if I were to make parts of myself, it makes me wonder what sort of. It's not the. I'm doing some reading about like the soul and all that stuff, so it's just been philosophy stuff. But it's doable, and I can get started on it tomorrow, and should be finished by the end of the day.
Well, that would be wonderful, because the next day is, I believe, when we might be setting out. Or whenever you're quite done with your enchantment. It's no rush. No great rush, anyway.
And I did a little bit of rethinking as well on what you had proposed before. I figured if I'm putting the runes on the ship, it only seems responsible that I should accompany it in case anything were to happen. That way they could make sure that you're not losing your trip back. So if you still desire company, I wouldn't mind joining. As you see, he's like almost like trying to play like coy a little bit, after not wanting to seem desperate after initially declining the offer.
Well, I think in a realm such as that, we might find ourselves lost without a wizard among our crew.
Yeah, of course. Yes, say no more. I'll make my way along with you then.
Yay, sounds good joining us. Really excited. I give him a hug.
Oh, thank you. Jay will definitely not be. He is very stalwart about that though, which is understandable. He's more of a water type guy, material realm. I've actually never been to another plane. During my time, it wasn't really a thing. We didn't really go other places like that.
Jay, you mean?
No, yeah, Jay seems more like a water material plane type guy.
I see. Well, that's quite fair. As far as we've understood, there is no water in Limbo. Unless it's just sort of one of the bits mixed up in the chaos.
I mean, it seems probable if everything is there. Honestly, it'd be pretty weird if water wasn't there, but it'd also be very chaotic if water was the only element that wasn't there, so I guess it could go either way.
It'd be very damp if water was there.
Yeah, there's only one way to truly know. I've had a long research day, so I should probably get to resting. That way I can be up early for tomorrow to make sure everything goes smoothly.
Yeah, maybe you do need that simulacrum after all.
Don't worry, I have a few mages from the Seven Towers who will be helping me.
Even better.
Yeah, see, there's no ethical quandaries here.
Just internships.
Yes, no, they're being paid by the school, I think. I've taken on like a teacher's assistant role a little bit while I've been there. So it's like I've got along with some of them well, and I'm having my own ventures as well. It's not just you all. But I think I'll be retiring for the night. But have you needed me? My room only has but one door to knock on. As he sort of gets
Good
up
night.
and dismisses himself. And as he's like sort of walking away, Sid, you see like in just like sort of looks back. Dazan! Goes, oh, yes, friend? Sid. Is it racist to name a dog Goomba? And Dazan looks visibly confused. And he goes, I frankly don't know how to answer that. I don't know. I truly don't know. I don't know what that word means. I don't know
Sid,
much about dogs.
We don't have to get into like right and wrong. I'm just gonna say veto. Maybe think up a new name.
I can think of a new name. Okay. Because I'll look into it for you if you want me to. He's like, no,
Why
no,
not?
I got my answer. No, that's good.
Why not like
Nah.
Bone?
See, I didn't even know what you were gonna say. That's not a good name. He's not a skeleton. That would be racist.
Why not Pad?
Pad?
Pad.
What does that even mean?
Fang.
He's got a bit of a snaggletooth. He sort of looks back at the bulldog, who's just been kind of like blindly following Sid around places, or like being led by him. Call him Jag, because he's got jagged teeth.
That's a wonderful name.
Alright, Goomba. Your name is now Goomba Jag. And, well, I don't really sleep, so I'm probably just gonna go ride this dog around town to see if something cool happens. Explore the nightlife.
Sure, just don't tire him out over much. Make sure he gets to rest.
Yeah. I'll go.
He needs to.
He's good. We'll swap if we have to. As
Sounds good.
he sets off, there is that moment where like he gets to the front door and you hear him. It's like, why do we have a doorknob? I don't have fingers. Why couldn't we get one of the push button things? It's like, and maybe about like a good like 20 seconds later, like you then hear the door open. You don't hear it close. He can't grab it.
I'm so bothered by the fact that he said push button thing. You have no idea. I'm so bothered by that.
You have a flying airship and you think you don't have doors you can push down to unlock?
Oh, I thought you meant like the
Oh, not like the
disability
handicap
access
doors.
button, where it like automatically opens. I was like, oh god, the lore. I thought you were talking about like a motorized door.
No. This is sets off, and you guys just you three. If you have any final discussions like to have, but other than that, unless you guys have specific things, I think we can kind of time skip to point of departure.
Yeah, I'm good. Can't think of anything Jungum's really gonna do. I got my equipment. Just money wise, I have enough. Like, I have 219 platinum, so I can cover it as long as we aren't there for like 10 days.
Right, yeah, and then we can figure that out after we get back too. There will be loot and
Yeah.
adventure and so forth.
Yeah, the only thing that would have been requested immediately is the flat rate part, which is like the
Yeah, I can
but
drop that.
outside of that, yeah.
That's only 80 platinum. That's how cool we are. I pay things in platinum.
Mhm.
Very cool.
Very cool.
But with that, as the next few days pass, making whatever final preparations, whether it's buying if it's a diamond dust, buying, making sure the ship is supplied with whatever necessary rations and things like that will be needed for the trip to come. Um, so where did you all have? You told them to come to the address, right?
Yeah, I come into our
And if I remember correctly,
state.
Um,
were you guys
I
gonna
will,
were you guys going to ship in a bottle to get there and then use Dazan's thing to get out? Was that my understanding of things? So remember, Jay did give you the ship in a bottle, or
I
the
know we
bottle to put
talked
the
about
ship in.
that, but
I don't know if you actually did or not.
does Dazan's salute enchantment require that we use that one way?
No, it can go either way. It can.
Why don't we just keep the ship in the bottle on hand?
Okay. Well, I mean, you have to take it. No. It was the ship in the bottle would be your ship being put into the bottle. It's not a random ship.
Right. I'm just saying, like,
You can't keep
why
the
don't we
bottle on
see if
hand.
the enchantment holds and like use the ship in the bottle that can suck up a ship potentially, but is not in the bottle yet,
Okay.
as like a backup.
Gotcha. So you're just keeping it on you. That's all I wanted to know.
Yeah.
So then
we'll return this to you if nothing goes awry, Jay.
Okay, so then you would be more likely than meeting at the docks because you don't have.
Well, actually, I was gonna say, I think I would pilot or have Nathan pilot this to our house, and then just like hover over like the backyard, and then like one of the chaotic shrubs would be like we'd climb up the vines overboard onto the ship.
I thought it was moored at our place. We had to climb up from like the roof.
So that is essentially what's happening now, and just as you know, like as he is like getting over there, you see like 6 Skywatch Knights who like are just like surrounding the ship. It's like, sir, you need to stop the ship. You are flying much lower than city ordinances allow. You must. It's like,
Don't worry, we won't be here long.
He's
We're
like-
it's 15-minute parking.
he's like I'm sorry, I can't hear you. What
We're
did you
friends
say?
with the king.
Hello. What did you say? Is he's
He
like
likes us.
as he's like, oh, sorry, give me 1 second. I'm just gonna park right here above this house for a moment. What? And as one of like the Griffins lands on the ship, and you see them talking, you all.
So as I'm climbing up over the like side of the ship, the little tendril of the like shrub from the Moving Wilds is like grasping over the edge of the ship, and it's just sort of like flailing around like animatedly like a mammal or something. and then as I climb past it, I'll just like say like, put her there, and I'll high five the little vine.
So as your group makes your way up to the ship, while lower than the ground this should be, still like a couple hundred feet in the air. So this is like some Jack the Giant beanstalk shit. You see, hey, here's what we'll do. I'll pay for a ticket. I'll pay for the ticket. It's like, no, this is not a ticketable offense. This is incredibly dangerous, and you could be arrested. You should be arrested. It's like, here's what we're gonna do. I'll pay for the ticket when we get back. And you watch as the guardsman he's talking to, his eyes like go like white for a second. And Jungin, you've seen enough magic to realize that there's some sort of enchantment spell or vaguely similar thing used in this process. So please return to us. Or please find us once you return, and then we will have you pay for it. Then, thank you. Sorry to bother you. And he just sort of at the Griffin Knight sort of trying to wrap it up. Let's go. As he sort of makes his way off the side of the ship, getting caught by his Griffin, and they make their way off.
And I'll play the role of like the guy on the deck that yells things on the ship, and I'll say like, all non-voyagers clear the deck, and just to like, warn people.
It was just him, so it was kind of like this thing where like everyone's like, "Who the fuck is he? Who's he talking about? Is the crew's looking around?" All right. Says, "All right. Well, now is that everyone?" As you see, at last minute, Dazan sort of pulling himself over the side of the ship. Oh, we're up quite high. I forgot about that part because it's in the sky.
Oh, I'm sorry. I could have levitated you if you'd asked.
It's fine. I also could have just flown, but I didn't. I thought I'd go with everyone else. It seemed like a thing that we were doing.
Make Dazan roll for exhaustion.
He looks more stressed than physically exhausted.
Does he have to? Oh, okay.
As he is keeping his head distinctly.
How many flights of stairs do we need for an exhaustion roll?
There's a number.
Like 30? Is it 40?
It'd technically be like, I'd probably use the same as like the chase rules if you're just sprinting upstairs, where you can run 3 plus your con mod. So like, after like 8 flights of stairs, that's when you guys start rolling. Well, no, it'd be movement dash. Either way. But as he, that's why. I couldn't use define myself as well exactly because there was this whole debacle. It's like, I don't have fingers. And as he says that, you see a flying dog drop onto the side of the ship. Well, no, it'd be the other way around. Sid would be carrying him right now.
A flying dog?
As you see Sid just sort of floating through the air flying with the dog like around, like kind of like held up like this, like he's fucking like Atlas before he drops down because the fly spell is a thing. So yeah, I got that mixed around.
No.
What?
Sid, I'm happy to have your company here, but this is just a dog. I'm sorry.
It's not just a dog.
You'll be able to play with Jag when you get back. And
you don't know that he's just a dog. You're being racist right now.
I'm going to take Jag down and set him back on the earth, where I'm sure he's much more comfortable.
His eyes are so dead. This is an animal with no thought. You're not sure if has any intelligence. So he kind of like looks down at the ground, and he's not exactly sure how he got here.
All right, go get dinner, boy. Go get dinner. And I'm gonna. All right, we're ready to shove off.
And can you make me a perception check?
Oh boy.
Whom?
Anyone really paying attention? But this is mostly for Kalis. 18. As you are taking Jag down, you realize this dog is not. You see it moving sort of slightly, and this is not moving like an animal. And then as you sort of feel it, this is like hard, as if there's metal under it. You realize this is not an actual dog. And at the very least, not the dog you saw yesterday.
So it's a different.
It seems to be a dummy.
What? What?
It's a decoy dog.
Where's the dog?
Are you going back up the ship to check?
I will get a cut of meat from the kitchen and I will wave it around the ship.
Okay, so he will make a stealth check at disadvantage as Sid is trying to hide. That's a natural one. The first reaction you've seen, Sig being dragged along, trying to stop him, is just flies up from the bottom deck. Not literally flying this time.
Right. Okay, boy, okay. And I'll just sort of like give Sid a look and
Jag, how'd you get here? What are you doing up here?
I'll just pick Jag up by the leg with the cut of meat in hand and climb down and then set him down on the ground and like toss the meat into the non-Euclidean hedge maze and let him go look for dinner as we shove off here.
Okay.
Next to the dog mech.
It seems to be a very well-crafted toy, so you have no idea where the fuck he got this.
I have a few ideas.
But yeah, and you guys head off. You guys take to the skies, leaving that Revedia directly below. He goes, okay, so what's the plan? How are we getting there? And Zon will say, simply going to cast a spell. It'll take the ship and everything on it, and we will go. You see, as Nathan looks at him kind of skeptically, like, okay, magic man, alright, you know what you're doing. And
we're taking 14 humans with us for the crew.
15 people, but not all human reality.
Right. I just mean like civilians. But yeah.
I don't really call them civilians. They're crewmen.
Yeah.
But yeah, with that, as Dazan begins casting the spell, words hard, think thought. The object, Jigen, is like a tuning thing or like a thing, focus, tuning fork.
Yeah, this thing.
Thank you. And
was it the silver sword or was that something else?
That was for something else. That wasn't the object to. You were given a tuning fork specifically for Limbo, and the reason you were finding the silver sword, if I recall correctly, from my memory, was to help find the location of the actual Gith city itself. It'd be used in part of it, if I remember correctly. But it wasn't. I remember it wasn't the spellcasting specifically for plane ship. I have to check the thing in order to be sure. But with that, you watch as Dazan, with one hand, sort of waving these incantations through the air, or waving these sort of hand symbols through the air, in which you can see the sort of glyphs leading through him, and these words you might have spoken about. And at the end of it, you watch as in his hand, he hits the side of the ship, almost like he was like christening it with a bottle of champagne. He hits the tuning fork, and it lets out this incredibly like eerie and discordant sound. And as that comes out, you watch as it blends with this almost like tear-jerking, like heavenly harmony, as it's sort of intermingling and fading in and out of each other. and you watch as the space of the ship almost begins to like fold, and then fold, and then fold, and you realize that everyone is sort of like folding along with it as if but a piece of paper, and then nothing. As you all find yourselves momentarily in this black void. For the first time, traveling interplanetally through traditional means, you can see this endless expanse of what seems to be like stars and other worlds just in these sort of gaps of space between the realms. To put it straightforward, this is essentially the astral sea that you are momentarily traveling through. And in that space of a few seconds where you see the sort of unending expanse of worlds that could not be known in any amount of truly be known in any amount of lifetimes, you can feel yourself begin to almost untense, as if your bodies are be able to relax once more, as the figure that was this ship begins to sort of uncrumble itself. And before you lies this shifting mass of incoherent geography. You see directly ahead of you, sort of like almost fully on its side relative to your position, this mountain sticking straight up for what seems to be miles. And you see a river flowing downwards, not south, where gravity would be, but just running along the edge of this mountain. You see pools and rivers of lava just flowing throughout the space of this area, deeper and deeper, sort of wrapping around these others, as well as these sort of just masses of floating rock that are sort of orbiting around each other. And you do see water here, funnily enough. Sort of like at like the top of like where like this like mountain, not the top. Well, no, it would be like so. It'd be technically on the bottom side of the mountain because it's on its side, but at the top of that bottom part of the mountain is just like a huge ring of water, not flowing like a river, but almost looking like almost like a ring of halo, but it's just like water. And that's the first sight you're greeted with as you venture forth into Limbo. And we're gonna take a quick 5 minutes from this point.
Cool.
There we go. I need to go. Hello, we're back playing Dungeons and Dragons. Gonna drag on a dungeon. So as we just a moment ago, you all saw the first sight that lay before you in Limbo. A mountain on its side surrounded by these various elements. As you were all sort of taking lay of the place, you watch as Nathan immediately sort of taking command and sharpening looks to you. Pointing to is like, put up the gear, make sure we're around there at all times, and make sure we're not flying into any dead spaces. Last thing we need is to fucking suffocate in Limbo. Everyone else, gather the rigging. You two, pointing at the two, you two get tied under, make sure nothing comes at us from below. Don't have a crow's nest down there. This is how we have to do it. As you watch as the two get chosen, like progression, yes. As they are literally like sort of tied and kind of like hung off the boat. And
so when they get hung off the boat, do they like fall to the end of their chain, or is there gravity here?
Yes, it seems that like they fall sporadically. So like he falls like down and then goes whoa, and then goes loose back around because and like gets pulled back by the rope. But it seems like he goes like down, then right, then he starts to veer a little bit left. But as he like able to like get onto the ship, he's able to get a grip on it. So gravity did not seem to go straight down.
There's no weightlessness here. It's all gravity all the time.
From what you've seen so far, yes.
Gotcha.
Okay.
You've also seen it about 2 minutes.
Sure.
Yeah.
Yeah. For sure.
Goes. Hi everyone. If I didn't give you a roll, stations as per usual. Keep an eye out, and you all. I'm missing one piece of this pie to make a cake. That's the direction. Where are we going? As he looks back towards you guys.
I pull out the thing, the log post, and then I show an instrument. So we're following this arrow.
And you watch as, for a moment, it swings about, not wildly, but more like this way, that way. So it's not like spinning in circles, but changing very sporadically, but you watch as the movements begin to get more refined, as it closes eventually on a cone of an area before you can see the nose of it, jittering a little bit, going towards the mountain, or at least in that direction. All right.
That way.
Time to do this. As he cracks his knuckles, goes ow, and then he makes his way over to the back of the ship. And especially on airship.
Is this device from Lara's old party?
That's the one from Usharan to help you find the thing.
Oh, so Usharan gave us the tuning fork and the doohickey.
He was being very daddy.
All right. But with that, you guys all begin to set sail. And you would definitely notice that the communication between Nathan and his crewmates is very tight. Even as you guys are passing like areas, you would hear like things being shot out from the front of the ship, where you see two men. These devices almost look like kind of like staffs, but have these, or they almost look like large pinwheels. Actually, that'd be a better way to look upon them. But you can definitely tell that they're magical sensing objects to some degree. And you watch as one stops spinning on the left side, and it goes. One of them yells, "Nathan, vacuum, 15 degrees left, about 200 feet." He goes, "Got it." As he watches, he begins making his way in the opposite direction. And as you guys aren't taking this necessarily linear path straight to where it's pointing, you guys are sort of weaving in and out throughout the elements that are here. You all find yourself actually rising up above the mountain a little bit, closer to where that ring of water that surrounded it was. He goes, I think it might be. Looks like he's holding it. He like shakes it a little bit, almost like you would a magic 8 ball, and it recenters. Probably to that area over there. And as you guys crest over the mountain, you see what seems to be a church. Left scattered and in pieces. You only recognize it from the architectural motifs that it could have possibly been. The spires, some of which that are sticking back into the building, the chunks of floor that are separated and have made way for other things. Sort of river of lava that sort of comes down into the back of it that's spiraling throughout the air that you can see illuminating the stained glass up upon the walls of it. The whole entire front of this place is opened up. It's kind of cracked and like scattered.
Is it like more orderly? Like, sorry, like the pieces are pulled apart. Are there like even spaces between each like stone and like fragment, or is it more chaotically like just scattered and destroyed and rubbled?
It is more chaotically like destroyed. It isn't like a uniform destruction, but I would say you may make me either just a intelligence or a wisdom check. So probably a wisdom. But I'd say anyone's welcome to make me an Arcana check or a wisdom check.
Well, for anyone who's wondering, we
wisdom
haven't gone
specifically.
woke yet.
Not a skill proficiency.
Okay.
Definitely not. Oh, maybe. Maybe there's hope for us yet.
Zelda, are you there? I forgot to ask because you were muted. And we came back.
Yeah, sorry, I was eating.
Okay, no, you're good. I just want to make sure. So as
We
you're
left Selthar. No.
just like still like one of the branches
Wait a
just
minute.
like really missed them and are just like holding him off the side of the ship. It's like, don't leave me.
I'm gonna die.
Jagan, you notice nothing is uniform about this sort of destruction of this place, but in your mind, as you sort of look at the area surrounding you, you realize that these pieces are still together. And intuitively you know that maybe most likely this isn't the only place like this, that despite the chaotic nature of it, there's still almost like some sort of like gravity keeping this thing not whole, but together is a good word. But keeping the sort of parts around this one like central point. And I would say you definitely get a feeling that it won't be the last time you see something like that.
Okay. Can I tell what type of, or what this church is for? Like, who is the deity of it, based on the outside of it?
Yeah, you actually would. Looking at it, I would say you can make a religion check for more information, but you would at the very least, by minimum, you would recognize the god. Sort of looking at these sort of stained glass windows, the figure that you see inside is one that you know to be referred to as a god, but frankly, you probably even never met anyone who's worshipped them. But it'd be that of Amorous. The sort of, I guess, the wife of Bahamut, and what's it called? The mother of both Tiamat and Telesis.
Wow. Scary. I'll inform my crew that. My crew, I mean, Zelthar, Sparks, and Kalis.
Gotcha. And
Sparks came with us, of course.
yeah, of course. And as you guys are coming over the side of the mountain, Nathan say, "It seems like that's a spot. I'll get you about as close as I can. That's a lot of rubble to watch out for."
Like location that the compass is pointing to.
Yeah, it's pointing towards this building.
Hmm. Okay. Just could I make like some sort of a check to just ask a question? Because
Of course.
I was wondering if we knew or if we could find out like if we could tell like what these structures, what the origination points of the matter in Limbo was. Like, does this all like flow out of the prime material or elemental planes or some other place, or does this stuff originate here?
I'm trying to think of a good way to answer your question before I ask you to roll anything. Give me just 1 second.
Right. Because this church kind of seems like a more mundane thing than something that would just be built in Limbo. But I don't know.
I'd say you're welcome to make me another wisdom check.
All right.
9.
Was that another 9?
The best way you could probably chalk it up to is a classic case of Murphy's Law. This is the plane of chaos, so it's possible that it did just spawn. It is possible that in the extremely unlikelihood of it being able to be created, maybe it was. Or maybe it was taken from somewhere else. So not really anything. Oh, yeah, no, you're not bugged. That was just a bad roll.
Yeah, I was just testing. That's unlucky. Huh. Okay.
But from what I will say, from what you remember, what Sparks was looking into, it does seem like there is almost like a sort of like source, not source of chaos, but like things where things are kind of like a place where things are kind of like injected from. Almost looking at like, imagine it as like the inverse of like a black hole.
Yeah, like a wasn't it like a quasar or something? One of those geysers of just matter.
Kinda, yeah. Yeah, because Sparks did find something like that in his research. So you would maybe have like a vague idea, maybe that pulls things, but you wouldn't really have a definitive answer. Bum, bum, bum. But as you guys are making your way down, as Nathan is very carefully lowering the ship, so he's like, okay, that seems like a good point. And are any of you guys doing anything else as you guys are making your way down? Because it's not like an immediate process. It's probably over the course of about like 15 minutes as he's sort of carefully navigating to find a place that could actually be traversed.
Yeah. God, I probably shouldn't have done this earlier, but I would like to ask Hanji if he's been here before.
No, this place does not feel like anything familiar to me. It's beautiful in a way, from what I can see of it, but this is not the place that I know.
Okay. Well, thank you, sir. Glad to have you with us.
Oh. Sorry, need to... Ah! Oh, I thought I accidentally pulled you all to the map. I didn't want that to happen.
Oh, I guess a thing I would like to do as we're nearing of this church is I just want to like give it a glare to see if I see any creatures within the church or like lurking behind the rocks, like space fish or what have you?
Yeah, of course. All of you are welcome to do stuff you'd like. You just give me perception checks.
Show me those displacer beasts.
Sorry. Fucking fan just being weird. 26, 18. As you guys are scanning the area, as you're making your way about, Kalis, you see what could easily be mistaken as a trick of the many sources of sort of unnatural light that go throughout this place. But sort of along one of the walls, almost like standing there on its side, Jungen, you recognize that you see a very humanoid shape. And then as you sort of like lean forward a little bit to try and get a better look at any distinct features, you see words. I cannot speak English. You see these horns that lie atop his head that sort of stick straight out to the sides, almost like a minotaur, but not at all matching the build of such a creature you've seen here or there. And then as you blink, that creature disappears.
I assume they don't recognize what type of creature it is, the feigned humanoid.
No, it looks like the size of like a person, but it has like these huge, like almost like minotaur-like horns, disproportionate for the size of its body.
I described this creature, so no one has seen it before that.
Well, it doesn't seem good.
I'm surprised. Didn't I read like a whole bunch of like bestialities with Sparks?
You did, and the main things you would have learned about is the sort of Slad and Guther's Eye are like the native people to these lands, and nothing about either of those creatures. Well, I guess Slad have like little horns that can, but it doesn't sound distinctly like any creatures you read about. So I guess if you were to make any assumption, it doesn't seem like it'd be native to this place based on what you've read.
Huh. Well, as soon as we're like all settled in and like the moment we disembark, I would like to put bolstering magic on Zelthar and myself, and then I would like to start to fly myself.
Yeah, you can definitely do so. Oh, almost closed out the Foundry game. That would have been not cool. Sorry. I need to do math. Sorry. So as you make your way down towards one of like the sort of like floating walkways that have separated itself, so it almost like this place was like up on a hill one time, and there's like pieces of like sidewalk or some sort of like paved path that have come along with the actual structure itself that you're able to make your way onto. You fly down, and as your sort of feet hit the ground, there definitely is that weird like woozy sensation as you have to take a second. Luckily, with flight, you ignore any sort of weird like gravity things that would really be there. But yeah, you find yourself on solid ground. Nothing immediately comes to mind, but now that you have like you guys have gotten much closer to it, you realize the absolute sort of scale of this place. In the distance, it looked like a large building, but as you are sort of looking at it and beholding it fully from where you are, because you had to fly down quite a bit to actually get there from where the ship was before it fully repaired. This was not a church built for humans. The scale is just magnitudes larger than what would be necessary, even like the grandest sort of schemes, architectural designs of what people would put forth.
Interesting. I'll carry Sid down and set him down as I touch down on the path. I don't know. Is this path like super long before we get to the church, or does it seem like
it is very like winding. Like there's a lot of like winding aspects to it. It's not a super straight path.
I think I'll set them down and I'll start heading directly to the church, just flying as the crow flies at my full speed.
Okay. And are you waiting for anyone else to come down before you head in?
Yeah, we're all coming down at the same time, but I'm approaching ahead of everyone else because it seems like the safest way to do it.
Apologies. Just dealing with technical difficulties.
Take the middle. I'll stand in front of this altar.
Oh, the game is paused. That's why I can't do anything. No, it's that same bug that I had before.
Ruh-roh, Raggy.
I'm gonna use that for September. But as
oh,
go ahead.
no, sorry, I just never mind.
Okay. As you sort of step foot and begin making your way forward, you hear this loud, like this sound of a massive church bell, just like this dong, sort of reverberates, shaking the air around you, and you can see it sort of shaking the platform that you guys are standing on. Some of you guys are standing on, just from the scale of the sound alone. Then as you continue walking, or not, I'm assuming you are, another ding. And then as you guys are approaching the entrance, you hear, or getting close to the entrance, you hear a final third that sort of sends out, and you watch it ding, coming to like a up pitch and just stopping abruptly. And then the inside of the church seems to go silent.
Scary.
Like the THX
Like a
tone intro.
Kinda, yeah, like more.
It's like it's harmonizing or like reaching a resonance.
Yeah,
Kind of a sound?
yeah. That's a better way to describe it. Yes.
Oh. The bell's keening is quite strange in this realm. Who do you think is tolling it?
The Moontor people?
The Moonatars?
The Moonatars, yeah. Or the Limbotars. I'm calling Limbotars for now because I'm not sure the Moonatars, but they had horns.
Getting dicey.
You know, if Puma's racist, Limbotar definitely is.
I like Moonatar. Moonatar.
What? But as you all step to the threshold, and you see not pews in this church, but these large, in the areas that are remaining, these sort of like large, like circular recesses into the ground, each one maybe like 10 to 15 feet deep. And there's probably like, I'd say maybe like a dozen of them spread throughout different sections, as the floor is not exactly stable, and in one like solid mass anymore at this point. But at the very end of it, you see an altar, which would be traditional to a church, and you see the way it is stylized, looking as this sort of like multicolored like gemstones. You see sort of like these, they look like rubies, diamonds, and sapphires. As all these beautiful colors sort of are sort of splayed out in the frame of a sort of dragon, sort of standing on two legs, with arms sort of held up. And you see that's where the compass is pointing directly towards.
The man. Or,
At the statue.
At the altar, yeah.
Oh, okay.
That's stone, right? That's not a person in that pose?
No, yeah, it's like gemstones. It looks like.
Right, okay.
Quartz.
A lot of them. A lot of very pretty multicolored stones. Some topaz, some chocolate diamonds. That's the thing. They're artificially made, but besides the point. But yeah, I would say, and then the process of getting to probably usually would just be sort of like leaping over these sort of gaps, which none of them are large enough to where like it'd be any Herculean effort. And also, one of you is flying right now, so you wouldn't even have to try at all.
So obviously this space has a sort of weightlessness to it, or at least a center of gravity.
Yes,
because you said everything's floating apart from each other, like fragmented.
Yeah.
If I pick up a piece of rubble, like a large, like a boulder-sized piece of rubble, is it like boulder weight, or is it lighter?
It's still heavy. It still does feel like a large, yeah. Even with your newfound strength, like, you have to take a second to adjust for, is like, am I just that much stronger, or is this lighter than it's supposed to be? But no, it weighs about what it should.
Well, look, can I pick up the heaviest, like, thing that I can bear? Like, heaviest, like, yay big 5 by 5 feet object?
Yeah, there's like a
lift?
fallen chunk of pillar, yeah.
And I just want to, like carry the pillar, sort of, like, carefully cart it through the doors of the church and, like, float up in the air. Or no, I'll just, like, stand in, like, the row between the divots and where the pews would be, and I just want to just sort of like spin once, spin twice, and with a great heft, like just sort of like discus throw it towards one of the intact walls of this place. I just want to just chuck this thing through a wall and see if I get a reaction.
Okay. What would you like to prepare? And are you stepping inside the church to prepare this action, or are you outside of it?
Well, right behind Kalis. I'm assuming yes, I'll step within the church. I'll prepare. No, never mind. I need to actually redo my spells, so I don't think I want you to bring some of these in here.
Okay.
Ignore me.
So, as you do so, you watch as you build this momentum and you let it fly loose. At this hurtling speed, you watch as it flies right towards one of the few intact walls here. and there is this sort of sound of sort of smashing and shattering stone. And you watch as the piece of pillar you threw is rubble, crumbled. The wall remaining intact. Can you make me a perception check?
Huh. 22.
You can tell that it had stopped right before it hit the wall, as if there was some sort of obstruction in the way.
So it
Like-
just disintegrated as soon as it hit
Like it,
right before it hit the wall.
yeah, but
Some
it hit
force,
it hit a solid
disintegrated it.
object. No, it hit a solid object, and that's why it was destroyed.
Oh.
The solid object is just not visible. And sort of mind focused on that. What you don't see is the origination of this voice. In this immediately sort of scornful, angered tone. Does this seem to be a place that you may let lay waste with destruction? And this voice coming echoing from all around. Another fool who wanders in to the good lady's temple. Another fool who knows how not to show any form of respect. And with that, you all watch as these sort of shattered bits of ground that are in the area. Kalis, at advantage, I need you to make me a dexterity saving throw.
Parkour?
Is it
13.
13? You all watch as these sort of recessed sections where of the floor that had spread all about the area. 1 second. Alright, yeah, words. So, not seeing the source of this, feeling this innate sort of holy magic, or divine magic, I should say, emanating through the area, you watch as these two chunks of ground sort of come up and phoom, as you see Kalos enclosed in the space between those two pieces of floor. And as you all essentially see Kalos disappear in the stone, Jagan, you see the voice, and you with such a divine sort of sense about you, can feel this amount of anger emanating from the altar at the front of this place. This is not a place for your desecration. And I need you all to roll initiative.
Dun, dun, dun.
Dun dun dun.
Shit, I will do that again.
Man,
Keep that on this map for now.
9s are wild for me this session.
They really are.
All right,
What does it
hell
say?
yeah.
Aces high? 9s are high for me.
And that is where we will be picking off next session. Oh, I need Zelda's initiative, if you would please
Sorry.
say.
I'm trying to find it on the character sheet.
Oh, yeah.
It's
you-
under your name
I
on
see
the
it.
first tab.
I found it. Okay.
Wow, I didn't know we could do that.
Yeah, I'm more interested in that,
Oh.
right? But we're all going last.
Wait, no, I'm going first of our party. What the?
Of your party, yeah.
Yeah, that's. I mean, asterisk.
But yeah, that is where we'll pick things off next week. Pick things up next week.
I just wanted him to stop hiding. Gosh darn it!
I have nothing to add to that.
We could have
Huh?
talked this out. We 100% could have talked this out.
Hey,
Still talking
the
about.
opportunity for conversation only ends when someone's teeth are all broken or dead. So you can figure it out.
Yeah, there always exists an opportunity for diplomacy until you've already ripped their tongue out.
Yeah, exactly.
Shoot first, ask questions later. Got it.
But thank you all for playing. For any of those who tagged along, thanks too. And we will see you next Friday. Who the fuck knows? You'll know when I do. You won't, because I'll find out first, actually. Godspeed.
Bye.